How much do you know about the mental health of your teachers? Similar to our students, teachers are experiencing a mental health crisis too. I've heard far too many teachers, including myself, make jokes about crying in our cars. But the reality of crying in our cars is all too real, and we've normalized it. Because whenever a teacher shares that they're struggling, everyone rushes to silence them with positivity, saying phrases like, "The work you do is amazing. You always go above and beyond. And you're a superhero. We need you." Well, in this video, we say enough is enough. Hi, I'm Caitlin Daniel, host and creator of Sci-Fire Leadership. And if you're new here, welcome. I specialize in empowering leaders as they navigate how to best support mental health and well-being in our schools. Today's episode is on teacher mental health and how leaders need to be able to recognize 10 warning signs that a teacher may be struggling. Let's get started. Teacher mental health is important, and it is often overlooked. Well, it's overlooked until there's a new survey that comes out that reconfirms what we already know. That our teachers are more stressed, burned out, anxious, and depressed compared to other professions and the general population. Prior to the 2020 pandemic, the American Federation of Teachers' 2017 Educator Quality of Work-Life Survey found that 61% of teachers said their jobs were always or often stressful. That's more than double the rate of non-teaching working adults. And 58% reported that they had poor mental health due to their stress levels. Meanwhile, during the pandemic, the RAND Corporation's 2021 State of the U.S. Teacher Survey reported that nearly 1 in 4 teachers said that they were likely to leave their jobs by the end of that school year. This was compared to 1 in 6 teachers who, on average, were likely to leave prior to the pandemic. They also saw a higher rate of teachers reported frequent job-related stress and symptoms of depression that were higher than the general adult population, and that teaching conditions were linked to increased job-related stress, depressive symptoms, and burnout. Now here's what that same survey by RAND reported on the teacher experience in their 2023 State of the U.S. Teacher Survey. Here's the good news. According to RAND, teachers reported better well-being in January 2023 than they did in 2022 and 2021. The rates of job-related stress have returned to pre-pandemic era levels. However, this isn't saying much, since teachers continue to report worse stress and well-being compared to the general population. The RAND 2023 Teacher Survey reported that 23% of teachers are considering leaving this profession by the end of this year. And only 26% of them said they had access to at least one resource that supported their mental health. However, nearly half of them said that those supports were inadequate. So, where do we go from here? The answer could be as simple as we need to do a better job at addressing teacher mental health. And for leaders, it starts with being proactive and learning how to recognize the signs that someone may be struggling. So with that, here are the 10 warning signs that a teacher may be struggling with their mental health. Sign number 1 is a decrease in personal hygiene. If you're someone who struggles with mental health, if you're struggling right now or from time to time, it can be difficult to do things like wash your hair, do your laundry, have clean clothes. So if you are a leader and you notice someone on your staff is starting to show signs of decreasing personal hygiene that's consistent for more than a few days, it could be a sign that they're struggling with their mental health. Sign number 2 is more emotional lately. Do you find that your teacher that you're interacting with feels a little more sensitive than normal? Are they crying more frequently? Do they get upset easily? Do they seem irritable? And is this emotional shift different from how their personality was either a few weeks or months or a year ago? I know that one of the big warning signs for me as a teacher when I was struggling with my mental health was that I was crying every single day. anything could make me cry. I felt very, very sensitive. And I didn't really realize until I started therapy that being overly sensitive or being prone to crying over things that didn't normally cry about or used to, you just feel a little more vulnerable, could be a sign that you're starting to struggle with your mental health. And that is one of my signs. Sign number 3 is disengaged. Is your teacher, whether in the classroom or during a staff meeting, seem disconnected? Are they having trouble concentrating more than they used to? Are they having trouble focusing in their ability to do their job and perform? Sign number 4 is isolation. Now I know everyone I've ever heard, and even myself, have said that teaching is a very isolating profession. But isolation can be a sign that someone is struggling with their mental health. Just because we're stuck in our classrooms all day doesn't mean that we have great mental health. How would you know if you never come to ask us how we're actually doing? And I mean really asking how someone is actually doing and cultivating that type of culture in your workplace. When someone is becoming isolated, they are isolated from their colleagues. Are they spending a lot of times early in the morning or long periods of night still in their classroom? Are they isolating also from their friends and family? Did they talk about their family and friends often and then suddenly stop talking about them? This could be a sign that someone is isolating themselves off from others and could be a sign that they're struggling with their mental health. Sign number 5 is an increase in absences. Now, I'm not talking about your occasional sick day or your mental health day. We all need those. I use those so many, and I use them strategically when I taught. But do you have someone on your staff who's taking multiple days off at a time, or one day off a week for several weeks in a row, or cashing in all of their sick days at once so they can take a long period of time off? An increase in absences or a frequency in arriving late to work that is very persistent could be a sign that someone is struggling with their mental health and may need additional supports to help them. This could be a conversation or getting them access to more resources using your human resources department. Sign number 6 is an increased conflict with others. When someone is struggling with their mental health, it can lead them to experience feelings of tension, irritability, or feeling on edge. Having these types of feelings come up can increase our chances of having conflict with others. Do we not get along now with a coworker that we got along with before? Are we not getting along with our department? Are we having altercations with students, parents, colleagues? And is this behavior not consistent with what someone was presenting previously? If so, a drastic increase in conflict with others could be a sign that someone is struggling with their mental health. Sign number 7 is disrupted sleep. Is someone you know getting too much or too little sleep? Both of those could be a sign that someone is struggling with their mental health. However, as a leader, I understand that it's hard to recognize whether or not someone's sleep is being disrupted or if they have unhealthy sleeping patterns, and whether or not it is outside of their normal. But I encourage you to keep an eye on your teachers and your staff members. Do you notice that they seem more tired than usual? Are they complaining of feeling fatigued or tired? And is this persistent over a long period of time? Do they look tired? Because if someone looks tired, it is also going to be present in their physical appearance. Are they going to have bags under their eyes? Are they going to have low energy? I know for me, when I was a teacher and I was really starting to struggle with my mental health, I didn't realize how many nights I wasn't sleeping. I slept very few hours and would wake up feeling in a panic that I had either forgotten something or needed to do something, and I just woke up very alert. My sleep was never restful, and I know it probably showed in my job performance, although I tried not to let it. But looking back now, I know how much I was struggling. And I know that when my mental health is getting in a bad state and I'm really starting to struggle again, I'll go back to that same pattern of disrupted sleep. Sign number 8 is persistent physical symptoms. Now, if someone's presenting physical symptoms along with mental health symptoms, that is a very clear sign that they are struggling with their mental health. There's a lot of research out there on how the mind and body are connected. And so when someone is experiencing mental health problems, it might present in their physical body as well. Physical symptoms could include heart rate, shallow or rapid breathing, tightening or tension in the chest, feeling fatigued, gastrointestinal issues, or anxiety and panic attacks, and so much more. When a teacher is expressing that they are experiencing any or all of these physical symptoms, or you notice these in a colleague or a staff member, it could be a sign that they are struggling with their mental health. I know for me, during my last year of teaching, I was experiencing all of these physical symptoms, and they were consistent and persistent from day to day. One of the most recent symptoms that I experienced when I was struggling with my mental health during my last year in the classroom was acute fevers. I didn't know this, but you could experience acute fevers under very stressful circumstances. And I was experiencing fevers every time I taught a class. And it happened for months on end. And that's the key with these physical symptoms. It's okay if one arises every now and then and we help someone work through it, or we just take notice of them. But if they are reoccurring and persistent, it can be a sign that someone is really starting to struggle because their mental health is manifesting into physical symptoms. And this person needs a conversation and supports from you immediately. Sign number 9 is hard to recognize but very important to acknowledge, and it is an increase in substance use. Often when someone is struggling with their mental health, they are going to try to gravitate towards self-medicating. And we often reach for substances that are most harmful to us. I know I've heard in my years in education someone say they've had such a rough day that they're going to enjoy a glass of wine or a beer or any other recreational substance that they use to help them get through the rest of the day. It's okay to have these periods of time on occasion. But if you're hearing that excuse from your teachers and your staff regularly and consistent from day to day or week to week, it could be a sign that they are struggling with their mental health and they need some additional support. And lastly, warning sign number 10 is extremely important. And it is, your teacher has already shared with you that they are struggling. This is a huge sign that I see so many people miss. People do share when you ask genuinely and create a space where people are able to talk. They will share with you and open up about their struggles with their mental health. And I see many times that leaders will hear someone say a joke, or they might share that they're struggling, but it's met with positivity and a spirit of, we're almost through the school year, let's just keep going. But when teachers are met with this year after year after year, it eats away at their mental health. If they've already shared with you that they are struggling, please initiate a conversation with them. Ask them more details about what they are experiencing and to what level they are struggling with their mental health. As a leader, it is vital to recognize these warning signs and try to initiate a conversation or offer supports before a person feels isolated, burned out, goes into crisis, or has already left the classroom. Remember, someone struggling with their mental health may not meet every item listed in today's video, but that doesn't mean they don't need supports for their mental health in the workplace. Did I miss any warning signs? As a leader or a teacher, how do you think we should be addressing teacher mental health? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. All right, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more educational mental health content for school leadership, please subscribe to join our amazing community. We have videos releasing every Tuesday. Until next time, happy practicing, take care.